Good evening, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started on our Lake Dallas ISD Board of Trustees meeting set for March 21st, 2022, and it is 5:30. Our roll call is we have everybody here, but Lance Stacy will not be with us tonight. Just so you know, somebody, probably all of us, are watching the weather, and when all of our phones go off, we'll know that we need to do something, so we'll wait for that. Right now, we're going to adjourn into to closed session. So the open session of the meeting will adjourn. The Board of Trustees will reconvene in executive session pursuant to one or more of the sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. The Board of Trustees will reconvene in open session to take any final action, decision, or vote on a matter deliberated in executive session. And it is 5:31. All right, we're going to get started back into open session. And as we reconvene, and just right before we do our pledges, if you would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we'll do our pledges. Carla?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Carla. Next up is our student report and recognitions. And all right, we're going to give it over to Coach Head.
Dr. Rockwood, board, thanks for having us. Tonight we brought Coach Jason Young and Coach Jordan Davis with us to introduce some of their student athletes, some great achievements that they have accomplished this year, and we're all proud of them. First, I'd like to start with Coach Young.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Dr. Rockwood, Board of Trustees. My name is Coach Jason Young. This evening I have with me Preston Gregg. He's an incredible student athlete who has shined on the football and soccer fields this year. Tonight we'll focus on his high school football career. Throughout Preston's football journey, he's received many accomplishments. Tonight I'm recognizing him or showing he's won some all-state awards that we're very, very proud of. He's won the Carl Padilla Coaches Poll, 5A Division II First Team All-State Kicker, the Texas Sports Writers Association All-State Honorable Mention Kicker. He's won a lot of district awards also and area awards. All of these recognitions show Preston's athletic abilities and his leadership he's shared with Lake Dallas ISD. If you can help me, congratulate Preston Gregg for these accomplishments. I'd be mistaken if I didn't mention Preston's family. Will Preston's family please stand, and will all of you help me thank them and all you do for Preston and Lake Dallas ISD.
Hey, do we want to do a picture?
We'll do it afterwards.
After, okay.
Next, we're going to have Coach Jordan Davis. She is the head coach of the girls' basketball team, the regional finalist. Everybody in the community was very proud of her, of the girls. And the big thing is with Coach Davis, she won her 300th game this year with these girls. So, a bunch of great kids. I'll let Coach Jordan Davis talk to you.
Thank you, Coach Head. That was beautifully written. First off, I want to thank our assistant coach, Cassie Arbon, right here. A lot of this absolutely does not get done without her. And then just as much, even more so, is all of our parents of our players. If you'd stand and let us give you a round of applause, please. Definitely, the majority of the success that we've had comes from the parents and the support and everything that we've had. So thank you so much for all the hours, encouragement, and everything that you've put into it for these girls. We really appreciate it. So just want to say congratulations to our team. These girls represented Lake Dallas, I would say, just about as well as anybody could represent their community. So their grace, their determination, their hard work, what you see in the pictures is what got them here. So they have made it to the regional finals this year, and that is the furthest that any team in Lake Dallas has done. So in Lake Dallas history. So good job right there, girls. So along with making it to the regional finals for the first time, they were the 2021 Cap Rock Classic champions. We went out to Lubbock, Texas, and showed them what was up. So we had a lot of numerous District 6 5A awards for our team, and we're really just proud of these girls and everything that they've done. So now I'm going to let them come stand up here too. So when I call your name, go ahead and come up here. But we're going to start out with our fearless student assistant here, Josiah McKinley. Come on up. Maddie Phillips. Najea McCoy. Alton Bartley. Allie Buchanan. Mackenzie Buss. Bailey Broughton. Cameron Richardson. Shadiman Wilson. And Georgia Elliott. We have two that aren't here that were on varsity this year, Skylar Zingelman and Dylan Cooley. Apparently they're still on spring break. So, but yeah, these are your 2021-2022 Lady Falcon basketball team regional finalists. Coach, you better get up here. Come on. There we go.
Okay. I think we're going to come down together.
And then Lady Falcons, you're gonna start. Yep. We're gonna do them second. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. F4. You guys can come down. Thanks, y'all. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2. Awesome. Perfect.
All right, moving on. Then the next item on our agenda is the public comment period. This is the time for citizen, staff, or students to provide their comments to the board. The Texas Open Meetings Acts require that every meeting of a government body be open to the public except for closed sessions as permitted by statute. Do we have anybody for, no, all right. We're gonna keep moving then, and we're gonna start off with the Board of Trustees report. And we'll start with, we'll go to my right over here and start with Mark Tucker.
Well, it's good to see the basketball girls here tonight and Preston. And but one thing, I went to a lot of the playoff games and they were awesome. But what I really saw was the community, how well the community backed them and they got involved, and that's exciting. I don't care if it's basketball, band, whatever it is, our community's involved, and so I think that's awesome.
Just to echo what Mark said, soccer's going on, and that's where my lane is. And I just have noticed, even on the away games, that we have a bigger crowd. And we're the smallest district out of every team that we play. So, and we always beat them, whether it's home or away. So it's pretty cool that we. It is, and you got to beat 4 people because it's so cold, but we always do, and so it's nice to see the Falcons showing up, even when you play kind of far. So with that said, Thursday night, Mineral Wells, 8 o'clock at night. Wow, it's late, but Dr. Rockwood maybe will let you have the day off the next day or something. I don't know, but yeah, come out and support if you can.
Maybe Dr. Rockwood would let you all have an extra cup of coffee on Friday morning. So I just wanted to say I went to say thank you to the baseball team that did a fundraiser for Aruna, who's one of the senior basketball athletes that was injured, and so they raised over $800 for that. So again, kudos, thank you for them being willing to donate that money to that cause. That's great, and again, that's our community and being able to support one another. That was great. So much has gone on, I feel like, with the school, with so many activities and competitions, and we're winning all kinds of awards and doing all kinds of great things. And I'm sure Dr. Rockwood has a list of everything and everybody who has done something wonderful since the last time we met. But I also want to give, just for the ladies' basketball team, so for my son, who's one of the student assistants, that they really welcomed him in. He was a little bit nervous, one of the filmers for them, but they brought him in. He made really good friends with them. And so I'm thankful, again, for just the community, just the way that they reached out, allowed him into their inner circle, and really treated him like family. And also the parents that were really, really good to him on the road and as he traveled with them. So he had a really good experience with that as well. So it's a fabulous team, and just to, again, go through and talk about how we come together as a community and how our students band together. And so I'm really, really proud of them for doing that, and for being just wonderful kids to each other and being supportive. So that's it for me.
We do have a lot of good kids here in Lake Dallas, and a lot of good parents, and we see that in these extracurriculars and a lot of other areas as well. And so I know I appreciate that, and I know the parents love the kids and the kids love the school district. There is and Dr. Rockwood may have the date, teacher appreciation coming up with the baseball team. Anybody have the date on that? Teachers come out, throw their name in the hat, win a little something. But that's coming up soon. And but I just want to shout out to all the parents in the community. As Mark said, we do have a great number of people that come out that really don't have a stake in the games necessarily. They come out and support, and that's really good, and I appreciate that. As an old alumni, means something to me personally. Thanks.
All right, we'll throw it over to you, Dr. Rockwood.
Alrighty, so everyone's back from spring break, rested and ready to finish the 21-22 school year. Appreciate all the hard work of our staff this school year. We've got just 2.5 months left. It's flown by, but we've got a lot left for our kids. It was great to see all the athletic accomplishments here at this meeting, but we are doing an awesome job with our performing and visual arts as well. I wanted to mention a few groups. We actually had 18 choir members recently participate in the Region 2 UIL Solo and Ensemble Contest, and every single one of our 18 singers earned superior ratings for their awesome performances, and 5 of those performers qualified for the state competition that's coming up in May, so congratulations to them. Also pleased to announce our LD Falcon band members earned 42 superior ratings and 12 excellent ratings for their solo performances at the Region 2 UIL Solo and Ensemble Contest there as well. And 9 superior rated solos performed at such a high level that they were certified to participate at state solo and ensemble as well in May. Congratulations to them. Also, our high school visual arts department recently entered the MSU High School Art Competition with 39 student works of art. So out of a total of 676 entries from 40 different high schools, we had 4 of our LDHS students receive awards in the 8 media categories. So as mentioned, whether it's on the field or on the court, or whether we have our choir or singing groups, we've got awesome things happening at LDISD. Just congratulations to our students, the parents who support them, and our staff for making it happen. And I'm sure by the end of the agenda, when we get to upcoming meetings and events, we'll have the exact date and time to appreciate our teachers for baseball. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Next up is our public hearing, Student Health Advisory Council, our SHAC Human Sexuality Instruction Recommendation, and Dr. Heathcote.
All right, good evening, Dr. Rockwood and board. So like you said, this is a public hearing for the SHAC, which is the Student Health Advisory Council's recommendation for human sexuality instruction. I first want to start by recognizing some members of the SHAC who are here that helped come to this recommendation tonight. If they'll just stand, we have Leah Ellis, who is a parent. We have Veronica Bondurant, who is also a parent, Diane Ramirez, who is our high school nurse, and Lisa Walraven, who is our middle school nurse. So all of these individuals helped with coming up with this recommendation for this evening, as well as some other individuals who could not make it tonight. So I just wanted to publicly thank them for all of the work that they've put in for this recommendation, and then they will also be able to answer any questions that you potentially have about the process, or any specific questions that you have at the end of this presentation. So thank you, guys. So as a reminder, from the December 2021 board meeting, you all approved changes to EHAA local policy as recommended by TASB, which is the Texas Association of School Boards. And so this policy requires a board resolution convening the SHAC, and you guys signed that resolution in December as well. But the policy requires that after the resolution is signed, that the SHAC hold at least 2 public meetings, which they did, and that they make a recommendation to the board at a public meeting. So that's what we're here to do this evening. And then you guys record a vote during the public meeting to determine if you're going to move forward with a recommendation or not. So the SHAC did hold 2 open meetings on February 16th and March 1st. Both were held at 3:30 p.m. here at the Lake Dallas ISD Central Services Building. On February 16th, we had representatives from 2 different programs come and present brief overviews of their programs. So the first one is Living Choices, and the second one is Aim for Success by Just Say Yes. And YES is it stands for Youth Equipped to Succeed. On March 1st, we reviewed the information that the Texas Education Agency puts out on human sexuality instruction, and then the committee prepared this recommendation for the board. So just to give you a little bit of background, instruction on human sexuality, the Texas Education Agency puts out guidance on human sexuality instruction for districts. And so it requires that the program must emphasize abstinence for students. Condoms must not be distributed. Parents must be notified of the instruction and be able to preview it. And then the parent must opt in for their child to be able to receive that instruction. So Living Choices was the first one, and I know it's hard to see the documents that are up there, but they are in your board packet for review. So this is what Chris Marchbanks, who came and did the presentation, handed out to all of the individuals that were there. Living Choices is the current program used by Lake Dallas ISD. The cost, there is no cost to the district for it, and it includes a parent presentation and a student presentation for all grades 6th through 12th grade. Their recommended timeline is to hold a parent presentation 1 week prior to the student presentation, and then to send out information 2 weeks prior to the parent presentation to the parents. Now, that's something that we could work with. They were open to any timeline that we preferred. The next one was Aim for Success. Again, you do have this information in your board packet to review. Judy Kinney presented to the group here. And this program costs just under $3,300. It includes the parent presentation and student presentation for grades 6th through 12th as well. And then the timeline, Aim for Success recommends holding the parent meeting 3 weeks prior to the student presentation. And then information can be distributed 2 weeks prior to the parent presentation via email. So during the March meeting, the committee discussed the focus questions. There were a couple of things that they needed to go through to be able to make a recommendation to you all this evening. So the first question was, does the SHAC want to recommend instructional materials for human sexuality for Lake Dallas ISD? In the event that the committee chose yes, they then had to determine which grade levels it would be offered to and which program would be selected. If they chose no, the process stops there, and the recommendation would be to not recommend moving forward with human sexuality instruction in the district. So here is the recommendation that we would ask you to review this evening. So when asked if the SHAC wanted to recommend instructional materials for human sexuality instruction for Lake Dallas ISD students, the committee chose yes. So their recommendation is to offer this. For the grade levels, they would like to offer instruction for 6th through 12th grade students, and the program that they selected was Aim for Success by Just Say Yes. So what the committee really felt was necessary was making sure that this was something that was offered to our parents and to our students. I'm going to remind you that the parents still must opt their child in. So if a parent does not agree with this instruction after reviewing it, or even just not wanting to review it, they do not have to opt their child in. If they choose not to complete a form, their child will not receive that instruction. But it was important to the committee to make sure that it was at least available to individuals in grades 6 through 12, and then the parent chooses to opt their child in. So with that, are there any questions?
The first one that the committee did not choose had a parent component to it. The AIM, the Living Choice, the other one does not have a parent component to it?
No, sir. Both of them have a parent component
Oh,
to
they
them.
both do?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you know what the difference between the two? Why they thought AIM was better than Living?
So they can speak on it if they would like to, but if they don't, I will do it. So nobody wants to? Okay. So one of the things, and hopefully they'll speak up if I misinterpret what was said that evening, but both of the programs were wonderful, and it was a hard choice to determine which one they wanted to go with. We do currently use Living Choices, and they're pleased with that. They showed some pictures and that they felt like were very impactful of what happens whenever there is a sexually transmitted disease, what happens to your internal organs, and how that affects you long term. And they felt like those things were very impactful, and that it would be something that was important to be able to offer students. The other program did not offer that. Yes, sir. Is that it?
With it being a public hearing, is there anybody in the audience that would like to ask a question? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item are our action items, and first is our consent agenda. Those are those routine items that we can approve with one vote. Does anybody have any questions on our consent agenda? All right, I'll take a motion. Mr. Tucker with the motion to approve. All right. Ms. McKinley with a second. Any more questions? Okay, all in favor? And that's approved 6-0. Next is our consideration approval of inclement weather resolution for employee pay. Dr. Heathcote.
All right, good evening, board. So last month you guys looked at a resolution for weather, for inclement weather, and we are doing that again this month. On February 24th, you knew that school had to be canceled due to inclement weather, and so we have added up the days. Students do not have to make that day up. We have enough instructional minutes in the calendar, and we need this resolution to be able to pay employees for that contract day that they missed. Are there any questions?
Any question? Yes, Courtney?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Okay, looking for a motion. Okay, Ms. Tankerly with the motion to approve. Mr. Baird with a second. Any other last minute questions? All right. All in favor? And that passes 6-0. And our last action item, looks like Dr. Heathcote's got this one. Consideration approval of student health advisory, the SHAC human sexuality instruction recommendation.
Right, so as a reminder, that's what the public meeting was on this evening, and so the SHAC is recommending instruction for grades 6 through 12 for human sexuality instruction, using Aim for Success as the company. Are there any questions?
No questions. We've had opportunity to ask at the public hearing, so I want to move on to the motion. Mr. Baird makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Mrs. Tankersley with the second, and all in favor. And that passes 6-0. That concludes our action items. And are you staying up for some more? All right. Our future items is next, and we're going to be talking about Student Health Advisory SHAC annual appointments.
Right, so again, we are talking about the Student Health Advisory Council, the SHAC board appointed members. And so we reviewed this last month. We're just going to review it again so that you have some time to think through who you would like to appoint. So I'm just going to go over some basic information. So the SHAC is a district level advisory council authorized by the board and policy EHAA legal. The SHAC must hold regular meetings and periodically meet with the board to provide advice and recommendations on the school health program. So membership. The Board of Trustees shall annually appoint a minimum of 5 members to the SHAC. The SHAC will consist of no more than 25 members and no less than 10 members, the majority of those individuals being parents. And members may serve 3-year terms, but multiple terms are permitted. So membership criteria. Parents must live within the district and have a currently enrolled student. It says parents may not be employees. Parents can be employees. They would just be identified as an employee if they serve on the committee in that capacity. The board may appoint 1 or more persons from the following. They can be teachers, administrators, nurses, students, healthcare professionals, business community, law enforcement, senior citizens, people from nonprofit health organizations. It's really quite open for who you would like to appoint. Membership of the SHAC will strive to reflect the geographic, ethnic, gender, and economic diversity of the district. And then there are 2 ex officio members who are in a non-voting capacity, which is the superintendent or his designee, and then 1 board member. So next steps, here we're just providing you, last month we did and we're doing it again, just providing you with some information on those SHAC board appointed members. And then in April, we will ask you to appoint a minimum of 5 members to the SHAC, and we can help you with that if you have any questions or recommendations. And then in October, at the October SHAC meeting, those new members will be installed at that time, and then the chair must be selected from one of the 5 appointed members. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board?
I do. Historically, how have we done, as the board, and the reason I'm asking the question, I don't remember the board bringing names forward. Seems like we had names that we approved in the past. Am I incorrect there? Anybody?
So one of the things that we can do is that we can bring the board a list of a minimum 5 names to be approved for the SHAC committee for next school year. However, we would like to give each trustee the opportunity and make it very clear if there's someone in the community, business, clergy, from the list out there that you would like to nominate, we can add that to the list as well. So we can certainly support the process and have a list of 5 or more individuals for SHAC next year, but we want to be clear, if there is someone out there that the board wants to include, then we can have that in place before next meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. But you're staying, aren't you?
I am.
Next up is our future item, strategic planning.
All right. So yes, we are going to talk a little bit about strategic planning and plan development for that. So first of all, I just want to start with the purpose and outcome. So strategic planning is a systems approach through listening and learning that lays the groundwork for continuous improvement. The outcome of the strategic plan will be a concise final product that includes the community beliefs, mission and vision, annual goals that will consider lagging indicators, long-term goals, and then a balanced scorecard. So there's 6 steps to the strategic plan development. The first step is a superintendent listening and learning tour. So this is a collaborative endeavor where staff and community offer input into the strategic planning process. Dr. Rockwood and the trustees will be less than a quorum, visit with campuses, departments, and community groups to get that feedback. A SWOT analysis will also be done, and so SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So step 2 is a team trust self-analysis and good governance inventory, a GGI. And so the key here is that the planning process must move at the speed of trust. And so first we'll complete a GGI and identify the top area or top areas to work on, and then build a follow-up action report. And then that action report will be shared with stakeholders. Step 3 is developing a beliefs statement. The beliefs of the district are the guiding principles and behaviors that embody how the organization operates. So belief statements will reflect the common values of the community and drive the final 3 steps. So step 4 is developing a mission and vision statement perspectives. The vision statement describes the district's desired future, and the mission describes our overall function. So the mission is in present tense and the vision is in future tense. So step 5 is confirming the strategic perspective. So if you'll reflect on, if everything matters, then nothing matters. All of the work will then translate into the development of a balanced scorecard that ensures the strategic plan becomes the day-to-day driver of key work in the district. So this is something that we would always be coming back to of, does it fit the strategic plan? And does it match the balanced scorecard? And then step 6 is translating those beliefs, mission, vision, and strategic perspectives into that complete balanced scorecard. And the balanced scorecard is a strategy development tool that's used to keep track of that key strategic work that's going on in the district and each department and at each school. So long-term and short-term goals will also be established at this point. So next steps. First is the engagement. So we will be sending out information to all of you for some dates to see where you're available. For opportunities to participate in some of those listening tours, as well as a board workshop. There will be community meetings. We'll be doing those district SWOT analysis for each of the departments, and then we'll also have collaborative meetings with the departments as well to get feedback. And then we'll keep you updated each month during board meetings. So this is just a brief overview, but are there any questions about the strategic plan?
I have one. How long do you anticipate this process taking to develop a strategic
Yes.
plan?
So again, we kind of have to go at the speed of trust and what feels right, but we would hope to bring back a balanced scorecard in June or July. That would be the goal, but we'll move at the speed that we're able to.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Heathcote. Next is our information items, and we have our construction report from Wes. And don't tell me, but this may be the last one?
Well, that's how I was going to end
Oh,
it.
I stole your thunder. I'm
You stole
sorry.
my thunder. Good evening, Board. Good evening, Dr. Rockwood. Yes, we expect this to be our last construction report, but let's go through it, and I'll say some words at the end. But so we'll start off at the high school, and we kind of put this PowerPoint together right before spring break, and it's been revised since then because that was a week and a half or so ago. Work remaining soffits at the student entry. We're still waiting on some delivery for those soffits. Some remaining interior finishes have been completed over spring break, which I'll talk about in final closeout procedures. And so, so we were able to, the contractors were able to install the ACM panels, and so so that kind of awning type thing in front of the auditorium was put in place this weekend. And so the last portion of this particular project is we'll have lettering, which will say Performance Hall, right above the auditorium, and so that will be installed shortly. But that was taken today at 5 o'clock. That's the soffit. The outside soffits still need to be installed. We're waiting on some delivery of those soffits. And that's another picture of the student entry as well. So that's the ACM panels that we waited a long time and finally got installed a couple months ago. I think they really look sharp. The multi-purpose indoor facility, we finished the flooring. We do have a standard classroom inside that facility, and so the flooring was completed about a week or so ago, and so we're way past substantial completion, but continue to do punchless items at the indoor facility. That's a picture of our classroom. And then the middle school, we're still waiting on some graphics that will be in the hallway right outside the cafeteria, and we're still doing some punch list items at the middle school. And Corinth Elementary, we've got a logo wall, which is pictured here. So we'll have our LD logo affixed to that white CMU wall. And then right in front of that, I think, depending on what kind of rain we get today, we're supposed to have a concrete pour tomorrow, which will finish this flat work off. We'll see how that works. But if not tomorrow, that should be completed this week. And then in addition, the high school library, we've made a lot of strides since we've talked last. And that was a picture taken, I guess, yesterday. And so, so furniture was delivered Friday. We've got the carpet in, obviously, the ceiling tiles in, the lights in. What you're not seeing there is the 450 boxes of books that will still be they'll be placed on those shelves here, probably starting tomorrow. But we still have a few things left in the library, but we're making progress and hope to open that up real soon. And then that's the computer lab that's right next to the library. And so that's a brand new computer lab that will open up pretty quickly as well. So, so yes, I think this is going to be our last construction meeting or construction report for this project. You know, this project started a long time ago, actually 4 years ago, and so I want to thank the principals of Molly Avelino, the high school, Randall Caldwell, middle school, Vanjie Durson, at Corinth Elementary, for their guidance and patience, because they've been part of this process from the beginning. And then I'd like to thank the staff and the students as well for their patience, because it's been a long process. We started construction of Corinth Elementary and in the middle school about 20 months ago. And then before that, we started a roofing project at the high school 32 months ago. And that morphed into the addition and renovation project. And so all campuses, for a variety of reasons, have been under construction for quite a while, and we're kind of at the end of it. So I just want to thank you all for your help and your patience, and we'll complete the construction reports until we start again on the next phase of our bond election. So be happy to answer. Also, I'd like to thank Jennifer Workman with VLK. They've been part of the process for 3.5 years, I think. And then our friends from Steel Freeman as well. And so they've been part of the process too. So be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't have a question, but I'd just like to say, Wes, thank you for all you've done. I know we had lots of small to very large problems during this process, and you put in a lot of time and effort to make sure that our kids could get in, our kids and our teachers were safe and could get to where they needed to go, and worked with a lot of people there. So our staff throughout all this has been tremendous, pitching in and helping move things when we needed to, and moving entire grades to a gymnasium, and just assorted a huge number of things. So it really was a team effort, but I'd like to thank you for being the main part of that team that kept everybody going and kept all of us notified on what was going on. Luckily, we didn't have to do that work, but you did, and we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank David. David's been there from the beginning as well, and he's put in the hours, and it's been a long journey, but it's certainly worth it for our community, for our students, for our staff, and we're excited to get this phase finished, and at some time here pretty soon we'll start the next phase. Thank you.
Any other comments? All right. Moving on. I think this is going to be it unless we have executive after this. No. All right. So we're going to finish up with upcoming meetings and events.
All righty. We'll get out of here hopefully with the weather billowing outdoors. But this Thursday, as Mr. Thiessen mentioned, March 24th, Lady Falcons soccer in the playoffs. Wichita Falls Riders at the Ram Stadium in Mineral Wells. So best of luck to our Lady Falcons. And then, of course, we still have baseball, softball, golf, tennis, track. Coach Head says it's his favorite time of the year because he has an event every single night almost. So please remember to go out and support our Falcons. And as promised, we do have Teacher Appreciation for Baseball on March 29th. So go out there, catch a game, and support our teachers and show them some appreciation. So lots of great things happening in Lake Dallas ISD.
All right. With that, we will close the meeting, and it is 6:40. Good